feel like merely existing has been unbearable this past month for me. And I have a lot going on in my personal life, but I also just feel like I feel a lot of what's going on externally, and it's just kind of a bad combination. But I get into these thoughts of just where are we going as a whole, and it just kind of scares me because it just seems like everything is in the negative, everything is in the red. I just feel really bad for the kids of this generation and even the adults. I feel like maybe before the 1900s, I'll say, like, things were considered like an era, if that makes sense. Like, we are in a time period where things change so rapidly, like we can't even take a second to like adjust to the previous change. And I feel like that's something that's only happened after the 2000s. If you look at history before then, it just seems like I said, everything was kind of like an era. The medieval times, like everything after that, like it was a time period. But where we are now, it just feels like time is just speeding up so fast, and we can't even like grasp the changes that are happening. A big thing I think about is like, imagine being a kid, like watching a movie like The Dark Crystal and seeing that for the first time and saying that like you want to be an actor when you grow up, and you want to be on a set of props and you know, like, or a movie like not Alice in Wonderland, I always get it mixed up, Alice in Wonderland and the movie with Toto. But just movies like that where it's just really surreal and you're in the atmosphere. Like, I feel like movies that come out now, the reason there's no magic behind it is because you don't feel immersed in what you're doing. You're literally in probably a green screen room with maybe like 2 or 3 props, and you just have to use your imagination. And that's great and all for some actors, but I feel like the majority of actors, like, to be placed in a role, you really just have to feel the setting, you have to taste the air, like all of that. But everything is just so mediocre and shitty and half-assed. Like, everything is just, there's no real effort put into it. And I think that's what makes me scared about AI, is just like, there's no effort at all really put into it. If you're making AI videos, like, you don't really have to think about shit. And I feel like we've read books like 1984, and we've read short stories like There Will Come Soft Rains, and we've had all these different kind of warnings of what happens when humans just decide to just kind of like give up on doing everything themselves and just let other things manage their daily lives, and it just doesn't end well. And it's just crazy that we've had all these kind of depictions of how crazy things can get and how much they can go wrong. And it's just like, we're like No, it's not gonna happen to us. It's not. It's not. It's not on our timeline. Like, I think we're in a crazy time. I hear a lot of people talk about a reset, the reset, the great reset. And I have not ever liked to think about rapture type events or cleansing the earth type events or anything like that. But I just feel like a looming fear that that's kind of what we are in. And it's hard to just pretend that we aren't. And I feel like going back to the books, like, we've had books and movies, we've had literal warnings of where this path takes us, and it's like, it does not matter at all. It does not matter. And the scary thing is that I mentioned just the movies taking a hit, but everything is taking a hit. Everything is taking a hit. I don't know if everybody else is noticing the changes going on in the hospitals, the changes going on in grocery stores. If you look at the expiration date on any item, you'll see that most things only have a shelf life of about 3 or 6 months now. What happened to things like lasting for 2 years, 3 years? Technology is getting better, but somehow resources are more limited, and the shelf life of things is less, and things are easier to break. Everything's more cheap. It just doesn't make any sense. And back to what I was saying about, like, the Great Reset thing, the other thing that scares me is the fact that libraries are just disappearing. They are disappearing at a huge rate. Everything is becoming digital, but the crazy thing about everything becoming digital is what happens during a power outage. And a lot of people don't think about that, but I can't remember where is dealing with it right now, but they literally shut down internet in a country by literally just digging up the ground and destroying the fiber optics. And for that place, there's no looking up on Google my stomach pain or like, there's no real research. And if there's no libraries, what are you doing? All that information is just where does that information go? And I just feel like we're seeing all the signs, but we're distracted by everything else that's going on. The Charlie Kirk situation, the Epstein files, the Diddy case, like, all this shit that it does matter. But I just feel like, to the extent that it's being glorified, it's almost like, hey, look over here. Forget about this shit going on. Look over here. And that's what really scares me. And I say all this to say, like, if you're having fear of what's to come next, or just fear on the daily of just the unpredictability of things, it's not unnatural. It's not unnatural at all. And when you look at things as a whole, I feel like the people who aren't freaked out, those are the ones who should be concerned. If you're panicking, or if you are, and I'm not saying this in a fear-mongering way, because that is not the type of person I am. And I believe that there's always a bright side to look at. But right now, it's just kind of hard to ignore just the chaos. It's hard to ignore it. And like I said, if you're dealing with personal issues already, and you're someone who kind of just feels intently about things around you and the world around you, you feel the world hurting. You feel it. And it is a scary feeling. It's a scary feeling. We're no longer in a time frame where, oh, just that part of the world is suffering, or just these few places in the world is suffering. The whole world is suffering. The whole world is suffering. And it is scary. But we have to remain hopeful, and you have to do what you can to keep your sanity and keep your peace during these times. Even knowing that they may get harder, but you working on keeping your peace and learning how to just take care of your own backyard is going to make it that much easier. And I just wanted to put this message out there for anybody feeling the way I'm feeling, and just let you know that you're not alone, and those feelings are definitely valid. They're definitely valid. But we will get through this, and you just got to remain hopeful and take it day by day. But thank you guys. Have a good one.